Welcome back to the U.S. Cellular 250. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. And you're looking at our race leader, Sam Hornish Jr., only the 5th race in the Nationwide Series. Sam has led, and the most laps he's led in any race is 8. That was back at Charlotte in May of 2008. And guess what, guys? He'll equal that this time by.
Yeah, very happy for him. We talked about capitalizing on the opportunity. He's doing that. His car looked a little loose to me when he was underneath Trevor Bayne. Getting out front, he can choose his lane. He can make that wide arc I was referring to in practice. And as the fuel burns off, it'll tighten up. I think he's in great shape out front here. 2
more guys have taken it behind the wall. Johnny Chapman and Mr. Harmon in the 74.
I had made the comment there that I thought Ricky Stenhouse would come up and close that gap. But right before we went to commercial break there, we saw him skating around, so he might have to come in and make an adjustment too.
Let's go a little deeper in the field. You got Blake Cook right there in 25th with Timmy Hill in the 75 trying to get underneath him.
Marty, they've been doing this for a while. You know, we went to break and we were watching these guys battle side by side. Again, this is what the racetrack can give you, but you got to give some credit to Blake Cook. He's on the outside for several laps.
Derek Cope also in this battle, and all of a sudden the 31, Justin Allgaier, has got problems, and we have caution on the track.
One of the 4 are going for the Dash for Cash 100,000.
You can tell the Dash for Cash cars because see the Nationwide in the window. It's got the white background and the blue spoilers on those 4 cars. He was running 8th at the time, and oh my.
He was the leading Dash for Cash car.
Yes, he was doing very well.
Guys, historically, this track has been very hard on right front tires. It loads the right front, builds a lot of pressure. We'll have to watch a replay, but wouldn't surprise me if the right front went down.
We just always turned, other than maybe, I don't know, 3-4 seconds on the back straightaway. You're always laying on that right front tire because you're always turned to the left.
All right, let's go on board. You can see there's damage on the right side.
Heading into turn 1, and the right front goes down just as it loads up in the middle of the corner. That's actually turn 3.
Got to slow down a lot, but not enough.
So, tough break, but at least it's happened early. If they can keep him from going a lap down, he's still in a chance if they can get it back out.
That's a great point, Marty. These cars are a lot more resilient than you'd think.
All right, a lot of guys are going to take advantage of this as the 16 and the 6 and the 18 and the 20. They've all come down pit road. So Allgaier's trying to get out, and let's send it down to Shannon Spake.
Well, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. on pit road right now, guys. He says he's barely hanging on. They're wearing that right rear out, so they are going to make some adjustments to try to tighten him up a little bit. Jim?
Carl Edwards radioed in and said, on a short run, we are very, very good. We're just a little bit snug, but we've got something to work with. Rick.
And as we see the cars coming off pit road, here is the race off pit road. Trevor Bayne taking 2 tires, as did everybody until you get down to Jason Leffler. Boy, Sadler's crew really helped him, picking up 4 spots. Stephen Wallace's crew picks up 6. Wimmer's crew, as he took 0 tires, just fuel, picks up 9. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. lost 7. We'll check in and see if there was a problem on that pit stop when we come back. Sam Hornish Jr. and David Mayhew stayed out. They're on the front row. Hornish took the high side. We're back to green flag racing. It's Bayne, Sadler, McDowell, Wallace, and Scott. Whoa, and Bayne tries to go underneath, gets a little loose. Side by side with Mayhew.
Trevor Bayne kind of snuck down there getting into turn 1. Caught Mayhew off guard a little bit, and then both cars kind of stalled off of turn 2. They didn't have the RPM. A little bit of a bump from Mayhew off of turn 4.
Mayhew, the 29-year-old from Bakersfield, California. We told you he's had 2 third-place runs this year in the Truck Series for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. He also cut his teeth in late models. Actually started his career like most guys in go-karts. And right now, doing a nice job here, running right behind Trevor Bayne.
We talked about Elliott Sadler, who's on the high side here, needing an adjustment in that car. And it looks like that's just what the doctor ordered. He looks a little stronger. He's heading in the right direction now.
Yeah, but I tell you what, also, you know, we see Sam Harnish and Dave Mayhew here that didn't take the tires. Sam's got away, and David's holding his own.
So far, no harm for those 2 guys. As there you see the 38 Great Clips Chevy of Jason Leffler. He is now in 7th position.
Be interesting now to see if Trevor Bayne, with 2 new tires, can catch Sam Hornish.
Okay, remember a couple of races ago when the 66 and the 38 got together? Well, here we go. They're side by side, or at least running close to each other. We'll keep our eyes on that.
One thing we heard, earlier during the pit stops was Carl saying that they really had something to work with. Well, I'm just thinking if Carl thinks he's got something to work with, he's pretty comfortable.
He's pretty comfortable.
Right now, Trevor Bayne doing a nice job of about a 1 second deficit to first place, but he's holding off the 33 of David Mayhew.
Marty's really struggling to keep that car on the bottom in turns 1 and 2, and you see him slide up here again in 3 and 4.
Shannon, you got more on the 16?
Yeah, guys, despite jumping to the lead very early, Trevor Bayne said over the radio, his crew said over the radio, that they knew that they were going to have to work on this race car during the race, and they have done that. They took 2 tires on that last stop. They also made a track bar adjustment because Trevor says the car is just way too tight, and guys, he is really struggling over those bumps as you see the 33 trying to make the move on the 16.
Yeah, and Mayhew got a little loose there on the right side of your screen. Here comes the 60 of Carl Edwards. You saw that Leffler's gotten around the 66. No harm, no foul there. And here comes Carl.
Marty, as we watch Trevor Bayne again on the left side of the screen, he is really struggling over the bumps. You watch the car. It's got more movement than the cars around him. When you hit the bump, and if it hits the splitter on the front, right here, you lose control of the front tires for a brief moment.
Well, you were mentioning Trevor's comments about the bump and everything. We picked this up on the radio.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get back to that when we can. So Trevor right now the lead is 1.6 seconds for Sam Hornish, so he has pulled away and checked out on these guys as Bayne and Mayhew are running 2nd and 3rd. There's Elliott Sadler right behind, and give you an idea of what that looks like gap-wise. There it is.
Guys, we're going to have to pay attention, not nearly as much as these guys on pit road, but this race obviously starts in the sunlight. It's going to end under the lights. A lot of speed. Track's going to cool down. They're going to carry more speed into the corner. As we watch Elliott Sadler here on the high side.
And he's under attack from Michael McDowell, and McDowell takes that low line, makes it over the bump, and you can see how it shifts the weight of the car, and he's able to seal the deal.
Yeah, we see Elliott didn't challenge him there. Elliott knew he was better off to let him go and not lose as much time, because a lot of this time at this point of the race, you're only racing the leader. You're just trying to stay as close to the leader as possible. If you have to give up a position, you're better off to do that.
So Sadler has dropped back to 5th. Rick, what are you hearing?
Boy, the name of the game for Elliott Sadler today is loose. Before they were able to come in on that last pit stop, he was saying he was loose off the turn. Shortly after that last pit stop, he came on the radio and said it's loose, loose, loose. He's going to have to fight that. A lot of teams have said that's one of the issues you have to deal with here. Sooner you have to reel it in. Right now, he knows his job is to stay with the front pack and battle that looseness.
They're going around Jennifer Jo Cobb there in the 13. She's 5 laps down in 35th. She's hugging the low line. And as these guys continue to make their way towards the front, the guy that's in 2nd place right there, Trevor Bayne, is now 2.4 seconds behind, and he's still got a mirror full of the 33 of David Mayhew.
I think the 16 car of Trevor Bayne looks more stable as the tire pressures build up, but you can still see the discomfort through that bump right there. Big bump. See how it sets the car up a groove? That's miserable, particularly when you're around another car.
Well, it wreaks havoc when the Indy cars were here because, I mean, they had like 4 crashes that cars basically going over that bump and just destabilized them so much they couldn't catch it before it went all the way around. Rick, what are you hearing on David Mayhew in that 33?
So far, the car's comfortable for him. He likes it. Remember at the very beginning of the race, I was talking about the fact because of that cooling hose not attached, he almost had to start from pit lane. And think about that. The last minute before your first start, you had that problem. But he ran the trucks here a few months ago, finished 3rd. He was on the pole. Afterwards, he got a call from Kevin Harvick saying, you know what, you did so well. I want to see you in this nationwide car. He's tested them before, but he's never raced it. This is his first shot, and so far, he looks pretty darn good.
Well, talking to him down in the garage area, he's got a real level head on his shoulders and realistic goals, and he's definitely determined to turn in a good performance tonight. He says, this is the best equipment I've ever been in my life. I want to show people what I can do. And Sam Hornish is showing what he can do right now. His lead is 2.7 seconds, and we've knocked down 42 of 250. We've got the yellow flag out here at Iowa Speedway as the 02 of Jamie Dick has tagged the wall, and there the 14 has now gotten into him because the 14 of Eric McClure had a tire going down. So 2 unrelated incidents end up colliding together.
That's pretty exciting there.
Well, let's go back. In fact, our spotters are telling us that before we picked it up, this is well after he's already tagged the wall, and the 14 had a tire on the right front that was going down, and they end up into each other.
Yeah, Jamie Dick is trying to get off the wall and get down to the apron, and you could almost see where a spotter right here is saying, hey, he's low, because he tries to turn back to the right, I think. I don't know.
Well,
and our leader, Sam Harnish, skipped a couple heartbeats when all that was happening right in front of him.
Yeah, remember, he and David Mayhew stayed out. They were 24 laps to the bad side. There's Eric McClure as he's made his way to pit road.
And he was smoking, Marty, before.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There were 2 unrelated incidents that ended up colliding. I mean, he had already had the tire going down on the right front on the 14. And then all of a sudden, we saw the 02 sliding up into the wall with Jamie Dick behind the wheel, and it just went from bad to worse for both of them.
It did, and then they found each other here on the front stretch. Very unusual.
I would think here, coming around to complete lap 50, I would think that Sam has got a pit.
Well, pits are closed right now. It gives us a chance to check in with Rick DeBrule. What are you hearing on that 22, Rick?
Indeed, the plan is to pit. The crew's on the wall. Initial plan is to put 4 tires on, minor adjustments. According to Sam, he says it's been getting a little bit tighter in the middle, but he says overall it's not too bad. In fact, that's why they didn't pit the first time around. Talking with the crew chief, Todd Gordon, he said, really why? There was no upside for them. They felt the car was doing good, especially when you're up front, that you're continuing to run in the same type of situation you've been. All he had to do was potentially come in and make a mistake and lose some positions on pit road. So for Sam Hornish, for Todd Gordon, they said that was an easy roll of the dice. They left him out. Now, however, they're planning to come in.
Well, and he actually dodges a bullet in this double car deal between the 14 and the 02. Keep an eye on the 22. There is Sam. And there's the 14 underneath, and then all of a sudden, what's going to happen in front of Sam? And Sam makes the right move and comes back down underneath.
Wow, that's really unusual. I just don't think the Jamie Dick, the 02, realized that the car was under him. He was trying to get to the apron. You know what's going to be interesting here, guys, is we're quite certain that Sam Hornish is going to pit. The $10 million question is how many of them behind will stay out?
Yeah,
because
they all pitted back on lap 24. We've completed 50 laps right now. And here's Sam's career laps led, the first 27 races we mentioned. And tonight he's already led 37 laps. Trevor Bayne led the other 13. So it's been a big night so far for the 3-time IndyCar champion and Indianapolis 500 winner. And here he comes down pit road, and here we're going to find out who else is going to follow. The 33 is definitely coming. Mayhew, he stayed out the first time around as well. And Trevor Bayne comes down, and so does Sadler. So this is not going to hurt these guys.
We got Carl Edwards staying out. We got Stephen Wallace staying out. Jason Leffler, Brian Scott. So there's a handful of them, along with Kenny Wallace.
Let's go to Shannon on the 16.
Well, Trevor Bayne really struggling getting through 1 and 2 on those bumps. They're going to try to fix them up with an adjustment. Also put 4 tires on that car, and they're just going to try to tighten them up overall. Rick?
Well, the story on David Mayhew is they're going to put 4 tires fuel. They're also going to make a track bar adjustment. Overall, they're very happy with the car. Obviously, it's been a run up front, but it can't be better. Now we're going to go and talk about the fact that Sam Hornish likes the car. They just don't make a minor few changes and send him back out. The issue now is going to be, how is the car going to do with traffic ahead of him? Up until now, he's had free air in front of him. Now that he goes back out, what's it going to be like?
Well, you can see the first 4 on the race off pit road took 0 tires. It helped Stenhouse pick up 4 spots. Sadler 2, Almirola and Sorensen 3 each. Hornish and Mayhew dropped 4, but they have got 4 fresh Goodyears. And we'll find out how it all shakes out when we come back.